Hello and welcome to the Coach's Show. This is Gary Livengood with head football coach Jonathan Tennant. Coach, week 3, you've got Greenbrier East 0-2, Preston 0-2. And this old bugaboo now, you've got 3 starters, if I remember correctly, are not playing.
Yeah, three individuals. That's they're both two-way start, or all 3 of them are three-way starters. So that's really 6 positions out of 22 didn't play. They were out for that game. Hopefully we can get them back. But that puts us in a bind. But we're used to it. We just got to adapt and overcome. And just kids have to step up. Coaches have to coach them up, and just keep on going.
You had the Summers boy goes from tight end, I think, or then he goes back to what, fullback or tailback?
Tailback.
Tailback, and he switched a couple other guys around that really have never played those positions.
Yeah, Pig, he moved from wide receiver on offense to tailback on offense. We had Christian Ryan. He's been playing strong safety for us. He had to step up and replace Caleb Gribble, that was been playing defensive end and tailback. That Pig replaced him on offense, and Christian replaced him on defense. So it's the kind of thing that we do. It's kind of musical chairs. It's a challenge each week to see who's healthy, who's available. And as coaches, we just got to use every second of every day to coach them up and try to get better.
And with youth night, I looked down there on the field there right before kickoff time, and there was just a vast array of different colors of these young kids that play football.
Yeah, that was inspiring to see.
Yeah.
I wish I could just watched and appreciated it a little more.
Yeah. Coach, the ball game was, to me, a tale of 2 halves. Start off, the Valentine boy, as he kicked off in the regulation game?
No, I believe that was his first varsity experience. We planned on squibbing it. We didn't want to kick to certain players on their team.
Yeah.
And he did a good job except for the first one. The first one hit the
Yeah.
kid in the front line, and that's just it's not what we planned, but that's what happened. We had to we didn't overcome it because they jumped out to a 13-0 lead, and that was one of the reasons why.
Yeah, the battle boy, within 4 minutes, Greenbrier East takes it down for a touchdown. The battle boy ran it in, and 24 yards out.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a long night. Both our starting defensive ends were out. Like I said before, Caleb was out, replaced by Christian. And then on the other side, Justin Moats was still out in that game. We had to replace him with a kid that's been practiced. This is probably his 15th practice. He's been out all summer in Massachusetts, and he came back in 2 weeks. He's done the best he could, but we're just inexperienced there. And he got a week of experience, but hopefully he won't have to play there next week.
Greenbrier East kicks off. You hand the ball off. Fumbled. Greenbrier East recovers. Take it in for a touchdown. 13-zip.
Before we even run one offensive play. Yeah. So that we could have folded right there, but I never dreamed that they would, and they didn't. We battled back and actually took the lead. So I was real proud of the kids' effort. They gave us everything they had.
Yeah, in the first quarter, it's 13-7. You gave East 2 touchdowns just within 5 minutes of the game. You come back and score with the Holt boy running at, I think, 4 yards out.
Yeah, he's running.
Pompili, your new kicker, makes the extra point.
Yeah, he missed a lot of the August practice with a sprained ankle, and that set him back. But we look for big things out of him in the future, not only in the kicking game, but especially on the defensive side of the ball. So that was his first real action, and we missed one extra point. It was a combination. It wasn't a great snap, and we got a freshman holder. He didn't get the ball down, but that wasn't the difference in the game.
Second quarter, your defense holds. You score another touchdown. Dakota Holt scores another touchdown from 1 yard out. Halftime, you go in at 13-13.
Yeah, we were real pleased at that point when you start off in the whole 13-0 in 4 or 6 minutes. We were happy to be 13-13. We had a lot of momentum, especially to end the half. We stopped them on a 4th down, and we scored going into halftime. So we were real excited. And then second half, we got the opening kickoff and went down and scored again.
You had a very good third quarter. You scored 6 points, and Greenbrier East scores 0. And you go into the fourth quarter, you're up.
Yeah, it was a good feeling.
Yeah, for the boys. And again, the injury, but we had penalties. We had like 11 or 12 penalties Friday night for something like 70 or 80 yards. What's?
I'm not sure we had that many.
But we had a lot of penalties. I mean, just
we had penalties. Not the kind we had the week before. It was a pretty physical game. It was a rough game. There were a lot of penalties we shouldn't have taken. We've got to learn to be more disciplined and let them call the flag on them. They always catch the guy that retaliates. They always get the second guy. They don't ever catch the first one. We've got to be smarter and just be more disciplined and less selfish, because those are selfish penalties. And if someone's holding you, then you let the ref take care of it. Just tell him that he's holding him, and he'll watch, and maybe we'll get a call.
Yeah, there was 2 or 3 personal foul penalties on Preston at critical times.
Yeah, one hurt us. The others, I think, were offsetting. A couple were questionable. The roughing the passer on Miller. Sometimes some refs would call that, some wouldn't.
Yeah.
The roughing the passer on a halfback pass, you never see that called, but it was. So that one definitely hurt.
You shut them out in the third quarter. You scored a touchdown, like I said before, and you're up. Fourth quarter, you didn't score. Greenbrier East scores 10 points. The question we have, and I know with barber shop and at the coffee shop and everything else, you had 4th and 8 to go.
8.
With a few seconds, 40-some seconds to go.
I think we were about 50 seconds
50
maybe.
seconds ago. People are asking, instead of punting the ball out of bounds or whatever, you decided to go for it with your best athlete, Dakota Holt, and they hold you, and you give the ball back to Greenbrier East. There was very little time to go.
Yeah, that decision, I based that decision on to go for it on a couple things. Number one was the lack of execution on our punt team. If you remember earlier in the game, we had a punt return for a touchdown. Yeah. Luckily, it got called back on a penalty. Mm-hmm. A punt in the second half got called. They returned it all the way back to the scrimmage line, so we should have went for it there. So my faith in the punt coverage team wasn't very high. My faith in our offense was higher at that time. I thought if we didn't make it, well, our defense can hold them. We're about midfield. Our defense can hold them for 40-some seconds. That was my thinking, and go into overtime. But didn't work out that way. If you look closely on the film, we got out-hustled on a couple of those plays, that one in particular, but other ones throughout the game. And in the end, they made one more play than we did. Yeah. I'm proud of what our kids did, coming back from 13 down. And that was my thinking on that play, and that's why I did it.
Looking at the stats, according to this, you had more offensive yardage than Greenbrier East. You ran more plays than Greenbrier East. Had more total offense. So,
like I said, they made plays in the end that we didn't. First touchdown, I believe, was a long pass where they ran a switch route and our guys didn't switch, or they're not supposed to switch, but we kind of ran into each other and the kid was wide open. That was a gimme. Then down the second touchdown, we missed the tackle at the point of the attack, and it was all over from there. So if we don't give up those first 13 points, I think it's a different ball game.
Again, Dakota Holt, your best player. Again, sometimes it's like a one-man show offensively. He ran the ball 19 times for 139 yards. Pig Summers, your tailback, came in and ran it well, 21 carries for 84 yards. But passing, you were 3 for 13.
Yeah, we've got to do a better job. Receivers have to do a better job of getting open. The quarterback has to do a better job of finding the open receiver, making the right decision. And our pass blocking has to improve. We've done some different things since the season started. We're starting to roll Dakota more left or right, so he doesn't have to sit in the pocket. That's nothing he's not very comfortable doing at this point. So we think if we just roll out pass and give him a couple reads, and if it's not there, just take off.
Yeah, I'm surprised the Record boy and the Niceville boy are not getting open. The boys can catch a football, but it just seems that they're not getting open. I don't know whether they're not running their routes right or what's going on.
Well, it's a combination of the not making the right read, not getting open, and sometimes we do hit the receiver, but it bounces out of his hands.
Yeah. Coach, you go 0-3, Greenbrier East 23, Preston 0. Again, looking at your defense yesterday, I'll tell you, Blake Miller put some hurts on some boys on Greenbrier East, and as did Pig Summers.
Yeah, he's Miller. You can't ask anything better from him. He can blitz. He's got to be a little calm down a little on the blitz. He runs by a few people, but he makes plays all over the field. He runs from sideline to sideline, and when he gets there, he's in a bad mood. And like you said, he punishes ball carriers.
And pardon me, this Brady boy was in on a lot of tackles, and another sophomore, the Gribble boy, was in on a lot of tackles.
Yeah, those two are real proud of them. They really stepped it up from the week before. They came up and supported the run a lot better than they did against North Marion. And Jacob on offense had a great the highlight catch, probably one of the best catches I've seen in a while, to put us, I think, on the 1 yard line. Then we punched it in from there.
And tonight at practice, I saw you working very diligently with your special teams.
Yeah, we started practice with the punt team. Like I said, that squad let us down Friday night, so we're going to spend some extra time with those folks this week. We're getting a kid back that had been on that team and a couple other kids that it's going to make that unit a lot stronger. Justin Motes will be back at gunner. Colton Rosenberger will be back on the punt team, so we'll be able to replace some experienced kids with less experienced kids with more experienced kids.
Coach, team awards, I know the Miller boys should have gotten, and then, of course, on defense, and the Hope boys should have got something on offense. Who were some of the award winners this week?
Special teams, Hunter Bishop. He did an outstanding job blocking for us. Offensively, it was Pig Summers. He came in and gave us a spark. Defensively, it was, I forgot his name. Who did we give that to?
That happens when you start getting old.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll think of it here in a minute. But our scout,
I've got your roster here if you want to look at it.
Our scout team player, let's see. Robbie Stenson was our scout team player. Defensively, it was, I don't want to say Miller because he was last week. Miller was offensive player week 1, defensive player week 2. And this
lucky
week,
he don't play on the special teams, I would guess.
Yeah, he does. He almost got it, but he had 2 bad snaps. That's about the only thing he did wrong.
Right. He's a snapper on
That's about the only thing he did wrong. We'll have to come back to that.
Yeah, okay, no problem. Coach, your JV team, have you played a JV game yet?
Yeah, we played 2 of them.
Okay, give us a little information.
It's been a rough start for them. First game was against North Marion. We lost, I think, 32-6 that week, and then Monday night they went down to Bridgeport and ran into a hornet's nest down there. We lost, I think, 42-8, something like that.
Bridgeport just reloads.
Yeah, they do.
They
do. Yeah, but I'm proud of our JVs. They're a very important part of our team, and it's a rough life a JV player because you play on Monday night and then you got to come back and practice Tuesday. And cheer your teammates on Friday. So got a lot of respect for those kids.
And I was talking to the Roseburg Squires coach. They're 1-1 right now, and they're going down to Fairmont Middle School, play at the East-West Stadium tomorrow night.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember whether it's East or West. I think it's East that they play.
Okay, all right. So anyway, they're on the road tomorrow night to Fairmont. I think it's at East-West Stadium regardless. Okay. Yeah. So again, the Roseburg Squires, the middle school team, 1-1 on the season. Coach, looking at some scores here. Of course, University High School beat Brooke 34-15. They're 3-0 in the season. Musselman beat Jefferson 30-0. They're 3-0 in the season. Hedgesville beat Mountain Ridge in Maryland 61-28. They're 2-1 on the season. The team that's going to be here at Knight Stadium on Friday, RCB, hands Frankfort a 35-14 loss. They're 2-1 on the season. Elkins, team coming up here, we're going to play here, I think next week or the week after. Elkins beat Lewis County 24-3, and Elkins is 2-0, and Lewis County is 0-3. And Fairmont, of course, Fairmont Senior beats North Marion 34-15.
Yeah, our back half of our schedule is pretty much loaded with University and Musselman and Hedgesville and those teams. So we got to get some wins where we can get them.
And look at this, and look at some of the teams on your schedule that you've already played or will play. They're 3-0, 3-0, 3-0, 2-1, 2-1, 1-2.
Yeah,
wow.
That's I haven't heard how Buckhannon doing. I know they've been struggling on offense, but I think they may have won one or
I think they went down to Princeton, beat Princeton like 20-19 or something like that.
Yeah.
I'll catch Buckhannon here for our next show. Coming in Friday night, RCB, a team that I don't think that we've played in football. RCB was a 1995 consolidated school. We were consolidated in 91-92. We've played them in all the other sports and wrestling and everything else, but I don't think we've played them in football yet. I've been trying to find out, but no one seems to know.
I don't think we have, to be honest with you. I've got some records that Coach Knight, Bob Knight, left me. I can take a look at those.
That's who I wanted to call, Bob Knight. When I need something, just call Bob Knight.
He left me some information about the football record, so I can go through that and look, but I don't think we have. So it's exciting to play someone new.
Yeah. Hopefully, Steve Gibson, Terrell boy, graduated from East Preston and is the principal at RCB now. Mm-hmm. And I called Steve today, and he was out of the meeting somewhere. Secretary said he had told me he'd call me back tomorrow, and maybe he'll have some information on it. A Big Ten, a double A against a triple A, Big Ten conference foe. RCB is 2-1. And looking at some of their information, you know, looking at that Davison boy, number 21, he reminds me a little bit of the Udd boy, but not as big.
Not as big, but
close.
Yeah, that's what I compared him to some players this afternoon. That he's faster than Udd, and he's not quite as big, but he runs hard, very hard. We're going to have to tackle him with our pads down and our eyes up, or he'll run over us. I just remember Defensive Player of the Week was Colton Rosenberger with that end zone, that interception at the end zone.
Right.
And
he's only a sophomore, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
And he's one of those kids that missed the week before due to injury, and we're a lot better team when we get our starters back, that's for sure.
Yeah. But looking at their roster, Coach, they've only got 27 juniors and seniors. The rest of them are freshmen and sophomores on the team.
Well, I just found out today that they're canceling our JV game, so they must have less than that. And sometimes teams cancel because they don't want to travel up to Preston, but this was a home game for them, so my guess is their numbers may be hurting them a little bit, but that's not what it looks like when I look at them on film. They got some big kids, some strong kids, and some fast kids. And
you know, R.C. Byrd used to be Washington Irving High School there in downtown Clarksburg. And we played them earlier in basketball and so forth, and baseball. Byrd, Fairmont West beat them 35-14. They beat Lincoln 45-19. They beat Lewis County 35-14 last week, and they play a basic 4-3 defense. If I looked at the film right.
Yeah, they're not very spectacular on defense. Or exotic. They don't do a lot of blitzing. They do some, but not much. They don't do a lot of slanting. Their defensive line controls the line of scrimmage, and their linebackers run and make plays.
And they got, I think I saw number 33, a young kid. He's not really very big, 5'10". Well, he's 185. He was always blitzing in different holes in different parts of our offensive line.
Yeah, he's on the game plan. He's identified. There's about 3 kids identified. 33 is their best defensive player. Like you said, he blitzes. He shows it late. He's a tough kid because, like you said, he's only 185, but he goes right in those offensive linemen and knocks them down. I think we can block him if we know he's coming and get in front of him. If we can get in front of him, we'll have a chance.
Basically, it looked like they were a running team because the Davison boy, number 21, last week, Lewis County game, he ran 29 times for 259 yards. Against Fairmont West, he ran the ball 22 times for 171 yards. Is he a one-man show?
Yeah, offensively, they depend on 2 people. Number 21, the Davison kid, and number 12, the quarterback from last year. He's a senior. He's a big kid. They like to run him the jet sweep, and they like to put him in the wildcat formation and run sweeps with him, especially in the red zone. But I've told our kids, and they understand it's in the game plan. 21 is the show for them. He runs it out of the I formation. He'll line up like we used to with Josiah Noose and just try to pound it. If that doesn't work, they'll get in the spread, and they'll have him at a sidecar and just give him the zone read. And he makes a lot of people miss just by running over them. So if we try to tackle him high, he'll make us look bad.
Plus, we're looking at his weight at 220. Our linebackers and corners and safeties are, 150, 160 at the max?
Yeah, our inside linebacker, Blake, is about 200 pounds.
He's the biggest one.
The one that was going to play Friday night, Hunter Bishop, he's about 150. But he's a wrestler, and they're both wrestlers. They understand leverage, and I have faith that they're gonna do the right thing and get their pads down and just tackle him. Don't try to tackle him high because he'll run over.
Carry you down the field.
Yeah, he'll carry you. That's a good way to put it.
I understand we have a couple wrestlers on the wrestling team have wrestled this Davison boy.
Yeah, that's what I was told today. Yeah. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. He must be a strong boy. So he's a horse.
Yeah, offensively, but it's just amazing to me. On defense, he plays inside linebacker, and he's not the same kind of player. It just shows.
There's no stats on it for defense.
It just shows me that there's offensive type kids and there's defensive type kids, and some kids just don't like to play defense, and some kids play offense better than defense, and vice versa. So, as a coach, you got to be able to figure that out and put them in the best place to be successful.
And they really don't pass that much. When the Junkins boy goes out to the out of the quarterback slot, they bring in his freshman, a Lopez boy.
Yeah, 14, yeah.
Yeah, number 14, a little freshman. Well, he's not little. He's 6 foot 150. He's only a freshman, number 14.
Yeah, you would never tell looking at the film. He looks composed. Frankfurt did get after him, sacked him a couple times, but he dropped the ball off, stood in the pocket, and threw it to some short routes. But yeah, our number one goal is to stop the run, especially from number 21, the Davison kid.
And that Johnson boy, a couple times, I think it was either against Lincoln or Lewis County, number 38, caught a couple passes, and he had a little speed on him.
Yeah, it's like thunder and lightning, the 38 kid. He's a lot faster and shiftier than 21. Yeah. 21 will just run over you, or not around you, but 38, he
gets out that corner. I don't think we have anybody can catch him.
Probably not.
Well, Coach, it's going to be a big night at Knight Stadium. Let's hope that the rain stays away Friday night. And
got some special activities planned.
A lot of special activities going on Friday night. So come on up and watch. We had a good crowd at the home opener against Greenbrier East. Yeah,
that was fun to see.
So, Coach, any last comments or things to tell our fans?
I'd like to mention that Friday is Military Appreciation Night at the stadium. Just read this. Preston High School is set to have a Military Appreciation Night to honor all those who have chosen to take the oath of enlistment and serve this great nation of ours. Active duty personnel, National Guard, reservists, and retired people with a military ID card will get in free. It's our goal to fill the stands with as many men and women in uniform as possible. In addition, we hope to have a few armored vehicles on display in the end zone, a special surprise before kickoff.
That sounds great.
Well, I almost sold the surprise. I didn't know they had that there. But, yes, we're going to have we're coordinating with RCB with some things that we're going to do with them. So
Yeah.
it's going to be a special night, and I think a lot of people are going to have a good feeling going in. It's going to happen before the game. Have a good feeling before the game, and hopefully have a good feeling afterwards.
Yeah, let's hope, because if the possibilities there again.
Oh, yeah.
The win, I had RC Byrd after I looked at their roster and all that stuff. I said, well, that's a possible win for the Preston Knights.
Yeah, we're going into it as if we can win the game like we do every game. They have weaknesses. Hopefully their weaknesses are match up with our strengths, and we'll be able to play a complete game. That's what I don't think we played our best football yet. I've told it's what I told them after the game Friday. After that, it was a bitter loss. That hey, we're getting better every game. We're better than we were against Hampshire. We're better than we were against North Marion, and against Greenbrier. We were just one play short from beating them. So. Yeah. And I told them this week that I expect that improvement to continue, and if it does, we'll be all right.
Plus, looking at your schedule down the road, the teams that you're playing are getting much better. Looking at their record, 3-0, 3-0.
Yeah, so we have to get better, and we're going the right direction. Yeah. It just doesn't look like it on paper.
And it looks like, again, as you said a little while ago, the Moats boy, the Gribble boy, the Summers, and those other boys are going to be back Friday night.
Yeah. I mean, if we'd had those kids this past Friday, it may have been a different story. But it's about on offense, about execution, and on defense, it's about stopping their run game.
Yeah. Again, Coach, good luck to you against RCB on Friday night. So, on behalf of Coach Tennant, Steve Blake, our director and producer, this is Gary Livengood, thanking you for watching the Coaches Show, and we'll see you at Knight Stadium Friday night against RC Byrd.